Hey, keto friends. Good to talk to you. Wanted to give an update on my current fast, 2 days in. It's about 11 a.m., so that's going to be about 39 hours since I last ate something. So we're August 24th, and so I don't feel hungry. Where my mind is right now is I'm trying to figure out how you figure out how long you want to fast for at a given period of time, and everything that I've heard and seen on video, it varies, right? We've talked about from intermittent fasting on up to people that go 20 or 30 days in a fast and trying to figure out, I mean, the way I sound might, I don't know if it sounds too enthusiastic. Maybe that's kind of how I'm feeling from the perspective of just trying to figure out what's good and worthwhile to do in terms of a fast. That's where I am right now. It's kind of like it's really arbitrary to pick a period of time to some extent. You get, it sounds like more benefits the longer that you go. At the same time, I know that I'm in this for the long haul and I do intermittent fasting anyway every day. And for example, I had talked about maybe trying to go 3 days, and now as I'm sitting here at 2 days, um, it's hard to understand, or I have a hard time putting into words what I'm feeling right now. Um, am I just being lazy because I'm considering, cutting it off at 2 days and going and have something to eat. Or if I really look at it, is it more a matter of, like one thing I think about is I plan to do this somewhat every week. Maybe it makes sense to skip one day every week just to kind of supercharge my weight loss and get some benefits out of that. And then that could be something really sustainable. Whereas if I'm starting to fast, 3 or more days a week, that's a lot of fasting, right? Over a month or 6 months. Like you're not going to fast. I don't plan to anyway. 3 days a week for a month. And then I fasted the one day last week. So in 2 weeks, it's going to be two 48-hour periods that I didn't eat. And that's actually seems to me to be a decent amount. So, um, where I think I'm going right now, and I hope it's not a letdown, within myself, is like maybe keep it to the 48-hour fasts and try to do that every week. I think I said in another video, I've always been a fan of doing something sustainable over time, and then if I'm going to do a longer fast at some point, because I'm thinking do, a 5 or 7 day fast once a year maybe or something like that, just to see what that feels like. But that would be more of a very planned situation where I know exactly what I'm doing all week and, working the fast into the entire plan. Like maybe if I'm on uh, vacation in a cabin in the woods or something, or I don't know what exactly the situation might be, but just planning it out. I don't know that I'm just going to incorporate a longer fast, like a 7 day fast, into my normal routine. I think that would be a little tough to do, just mentally again. So the good news is it's still there's no hunger issue. It's just a question of what you want your life to look like. I always say to my wife, it seems so much harder to me to, the concept of modifying your diet as opposed to, and I haven't smoked in my life, but I bring up smoking like something that you can just quit. You just quit. Not that it's easy to do, but the point is your body doesn't need you, to smoke a little bit. But like with eating, you're not going to fast forever. It's kind of like if I could quit, I'd have a different mindset about it. At that point, you're just trying to eliminate it from your life, right? But in this case, you have to eat at some point, and the fasting's interesting because it's kind of like you're quitting for a little while, but then you have to go back to eating. Whereas with cigarettes or other vices, your whole thing is if you can just not do it, if you can eliminate it from your house, right? If you can eliminate it from your living situation, then it's like you could just stop. Like your mindset is get rid of it, and you don't have to think about it again. So it's very, it's an interesting thing with the dieting. I'd almost rather just be able to just quit, you know. But to figure out, it's almost like you're getting an insight into how my brain is thinking about this. It's like you're quitting for a little while. Well, how long do you quit for? It's completely arbitrary, right? And then why are you, fasting longer or shorter? And how often, why are you doing these things? And I have a feeling all these answers have to be answered by the individual, because when you start looking at all the videos, everybody's got a different opinion. And the bottom line is, I'm convinced that some amount of fasting is valuable, uh, but I'm not sure that there's data that says, one given time frame or process or frequency is very obviously so much better than others. So that's what's going on. I continue on the fast right now. It's probably pretty probable that I eat something today and then maybe do this same thing next week again, um, rather than go into tomorrow and continue to fast. The other thing is, I don't know if I'm going to get more used to this, like maybe it just won't even matter to me at some point. But it's really killing me right now just not to have, like, the lunch in my process. It's not even that I'm hungry. It's just like from a cultural standpoint, like what I do all the time. And again, I'm not sure that it's a problem so much, because there's nothing saying I have to lose every pound and, as quickly as possible. So this is all, it's just stuff to think about. On the other hand, do I prove in some way my intent and my dedication, by like just not eating for several days or something like that. I don't think I want to get into that because I know I'll end up losing that battle. I want to do something that, you know, I can sustain, even if it's all mental and not that I'm physically hungry and that's the thing driving it. I'm not really physically hungry. I mean, um, I could eat something, there's definitely, it's the opposite of being full, like after a meal, right? Like I feel empty, but I feel good. I mean, physically. Oh, I wanted to mention too. Yesterday, as I started the fast and had nothing since 8 p.m. the night before, I did a bunch of physical activity out in the yard and some things I had to do, and I did notice less of an energy level. So, in other words, when I'm sitting here talking to you, I feel fine. I feel normal, but I'm not really having to exert myself at all. I did notice that there was a couple times I felt just tired. I don't know how to put it. It's not tired, go to sleep, But my body, like if I were to eat a meal and then go out and do physical work, like yard work, right? The After a meal, I feel kind of physically pumped up, or like, if I had lunch and then I went to work out, right? There's like an energy boost that happens, I guess, or a sustained energy level that continues as a result of eating the meal. Whereas I do notice and want to be conscious of, because you got to figure this in and work it into your schedule, that for me anyway, not having eaten since the night before, again, it wasn't a hunger. I didn't feel sick. It's not that, there was any kind of problem, but just when I was really active, like chopping branches up and things like that, moving some mulch around. Um, my body, it's as if it didn't want to do it for a long time without getting a break. Like, I also don't know if that's just turning 50 and indicating I'm not, in the best shape in the world. Although I do think cardiovascularly, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. Like, there was no obvious, like, cardiovascular. It wasn't that my heart was pumping like crazy or anything like that. It's more of a muscular thing. It's just like I feel like, you know I don't feel ready to just go run a marathon again. It may be completely mental. I don't know. Maybe it's something I'll get used to. But the main point I wanted to make was just to fill you in on my experience, that it was interesting to me that I did notice a difference in energy level, and it was during physical exertion. So again, I like, if I had a desk job, um, in an office, I don't think that it would bother me too much. In other words, doing a bit of a longer fast, but if I'm digging pools, or stuff that I know in the old neighborhood, a lot of people had, these physical jobs, construction, whatever. Um, you might need to watch it a little bit, like, you know what I mean. You probably, the intermittent fasting, where you're just reducing the number of hours you eat in a day, I think would work for me anyway. It would have worked a lot better than trying to do the extended fasts. So that's it. That's basically the update for right now. I mean, I could keep talking. Um, it's interesting. I haven't had many comments, so I don't know if people are getting value out of this. Some of it's for me anyway. Like I said, I do better if I can, um, talk things out. Even as I'm talking, it probably sounds like a stream of consciousness, because it really is. Like, sometimes I think better if I could talk something out. So it is of value to me. And I appreciate anybody, who wants to watch, or if you guys want to comment or talk, I'm all up for that, or not. And I'll get the value out of it that I get anyway, just for being able to put this out there, and maybe unlock it from inside my own head. And that's what's going on. So thanks for watching, and check in again. Thanks. Bye.